Hi everyone, it's time to reveal another day of the Papercraft Society Advent Calendar. So I'm going to be looking at day 10 today, and this has been designed by myself, Lou Collins of Textures, and I'm going to be creating a quick card using this item, but also using some of the other days that have been previous too. Now don't forget, everything in here has been designed by different designers, so we've all got 3 or 4 different days to design, and there's such a range of different themes, different styles in here. You're going to absolutely love it. If you haven't already opened all of the days and you've been keeping up with us on YouTube, we are opening one a day, revealing each one and creating a project with it too. So day 10, we are getting through these so quickly already. So as I say, already day 10 is designed by myself. Now this is going to work perfectly with the dies that you saw in day, I think it was 5 or 6. We have got a stamp set today. So as I say, this is Textures, myself, and we have got Happy Birthday and Best Day Ever. Now the idea with this is these stamps are going to fit absolutely perfectly inside of the dies. So here's the card that I made on day 6. If you've not seen that video, you can go and check that out now. But this is the die set. So we have got the squares, the rectangles for the aperture. These are going to fit inside those absolutely wonderfully, and as you can see, we've got florals, we've got butterflies, so they're going to work together nicely. Now I think I'm going to, with these stamps, use them also with another set. So let's take a look at 9. What have we got here? Oh, perfect. Yeah, so what I want to do is show you a bit of a masculine theme, because although we've got butterflies and flowers and such on here, I wanted to make sure that the wording could be used for not just for your feminine themed cards, but also for gentlemen. So I'm going to use the dies to create an aperture, but I'm also going to be using this embossing folder. This is from Simply Made Crafts, and this was in yesterday's envelope. And so Simply Made Crafts by Helen Griffin, and it's a wood grain. So this is just going to be perfect for the background for creating that masculine look. So for this project, I've got myself a piece of craft cardstock. I always think craft looks lovely as a wood grain background. So I've cut that down to size so it will fit inside the embossing folder. And then I've cut myself a card base with this ever so slightly larger than the wood grain panel will be, and that will sit as my card base, as you can see. So this I've trimmed down a DL card, and I will make an envelope using my Creative Craft Products scoreboard and envelope maker afterwards. So let's first of all die cut this, because you want to die cut before you do your embossing. Again, I'm going to use the apertures here. I think I'm actually going to stamp on the inside of the card, so when you open the card you've got the wording in there. If we take a look at the dies, you see that just sits so perfect. I love the Best Day Ever one. The Happy Birthday is great as well. You'll need to use your dies vertically, or rather horizontally for that, vertically for the Best Day Ever. So I think I'm going to use Best Day Ever. So what I'm going to do is start with the largest die and place that on the top of my card here, because I'm going to create a little peek through all the way to the back of the card, because then the stamp is going to be in the back of the card, and you'll be able to see it through. So when you open the card, you've still got the sentiment there. So I'm just going to tack this down with a little bit of low tack tape, making sure that's central. You can of course measure it to ensure it is in the center, but I don't worry about things like this. And we'll die cut the next layer in a moment. So there's my aperture, making sure I'm very careful about peeling away the tape. I'd like to reuse this. So I'm now going to position my mat onto my card where it will be, and then I'm going to put this smaller die, which came in day, I believe it was day 6, just there. And I can put my tape on the inside, because the inside is going to come away. It's going to be the waste. There, so hold that die in place. I'm going to open my card base up and run this through my die cutting machine like this. So now I have an aperture in my card front. I have the matten layer that will fit perfectly over the top, and I'd like to introduce some colour by putting some cardstock inside there. Now the cardstock inside will need to be smooth, because I'm going to stamp and heat emboss onto it. Now I love this teal colour. I think that's going to look absolutely beautiful, and then I might use something like a gold for my sentiment in there. So I'm going to cut this down. This is a scrap of cardstock that I've got, so I'm hoping that I've got enough, I have just there to cut down and put inside my card base there. So just mark that with a pokey tool. I tend to mark with a pokey tool rather than a pencil. Just eliminates the need for erasing pencil lines later. I'm going to do my stamping before I work with the top layer. So the best day ever, like I say, this could be birthday, Mother's Day, Father's Day, it could be Christmas, it could also be wedding, of course, new baby, really any occasion. So using my stamp platform, I'm going to place my card base in for now, and I'm going to place it this way round because I'll need to open it up to do the stamping. But for now, I want to just use this aperture to position the sentiment exactly where I think it needs to go, which that looks pretty good to me. Then I can open up the card base, use magnets if needed to hold everything down, and pick up the stamp. Now this is a brand new stamp, so I am going to treat it as I would any brand new stamp, and I'm going to use my pencil eraser to just brush over the surface. So this is the flat part of the eraser. I'm just going to wipe away any coating that's on the stamp from the manufacturing process. This is going to really help my ink to stick and give me a much clearer image. So I've got Versamark, which is a clear embossing ink, and I'm just going to really ink that up well and stamp that onto that beautiful teal green cardstock. Just taking a look at that in the light, it looks like it has. And I'm just going to sprinkle the powder all over the stamped image, tap it into the spine. It's the quickest, cleanest and easiest way, and then down into the pot. And we've got actually a really nice impression there. No stray bits of powder either. So I'm going to heat set that quickly. There, that is absolutely perfect. That is a really nice wedding card on its own, simply with the white. But of course, I said I want to make this a bit more masculine, so I'm going to add the craft cardstock layer over the top. Now, while this is warm, I'm going to just lay it out flat to make sure it doesn't warp as it cools. And I'm going to put my craft cardstock, which, like I say, you do need to do the die cutting first, because if you do the die cutting after the embossing, you're going to flatten all that embossing back out. So taking the embossing folder out and putting this just inside here. Lovely. I'm going to emboss it dry first, see what it looks like, and then think about adding some ink afterwards if I feel it needs it. Look at that, that is really, really beautiful. I think I'm going to take a pale brown, something that's quite similar to craft, just to highlight the embossing. Brushed corduroy, this is a slightly warmer brown, but I'll just brush it over the surface. Like I say, I'm only picking out the embossing, I'm not going too crazy with highlighting it too much. There we go, perfect. So making sure I'm lining up with that aperture perfectly. And there we have a lovely, simple and quick masculine card. You can write your sentiment here, or you could of course write it on the back if you prefer. You could add additional embellishments, but I just think sometimes keep things simple and quick. So this is easily a card that you could batch make if you wanted to as well. And you've still got lots of other stamps. So you've got the happy birthday one. Also, you could do the horizontal window, and then you've got all of these different florals and butterflies and foliage in there that you can use as well, which come in handy for card making on any occasion. So that's what's in your day 10 envelope. Don't forget to check back tomorrow to see what's in day 11, and you can share your makes using your advent calendar using the hashtag Papercraft Society Advent 2024.